Orseofkorse here, coming back with another Paragon video. Today we're going to be looking at the new hero, Narbash. And I've had a chance to play with him a little bit, and this is the deck that I've come up with. It isn't perfect yet, I still probably want to tweak it, but for now this is pretty good, so I wanted to share it out. Now, I'm building tanky support, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So for his prime card, I'm going to start out with the Centurion. So give him that extra 1000 health, 100% damage bonus. I want him to be tanky, so this seems to be the perfect card for that. As we get down to the consumables, I have a health potion, Scout's Ward for that vision early on, and the Shepherd's file. Now this card you may not have, you may have it, I don't know. But what it does is 2.85 mana regen to self for 15 seconds, and you get plus 10 health regen to nearby allies for 7 seconds. So like I said, I want to play support, and this basically gives my team basically an extra health potion in a way. So I thought this was a really good card to have up there. So if you don't have it though, feel free to use a mana potion or health token, whatever you want. Now as we get down to the equipment, this isn't in any particular order, and 2 cards in this build are actually optional, which are the Quartz Blade and the Silver Spear. These have more physical damage on them, and that is because if I don't feel like I need the defense, like the Thorn Greenweed or the Mad Spore Sash, then I can equip one of these cards or both of these cards, but I don't feel like their team is a threat at all. I can just build more damage. But we're going to look at the deck proper. So we're going to start with the Lord's Ward since it's at the top, but this is in no particular order, like I said. So for the Lord's Ward, it has 75 mana, 100 health, 2.5 cooldown reduction, and it gives you the Shadow Wards. I want to keep the Shadow Wards in my deck because I want to keep vision up. I want to help my team in that way so we can see the enemies coming. We can, counter them more effectively if we have the vision. So I put Advanced Chrono, 7.5 cooldown reduction, health, and another Chrono for 5% reduction, which puts me at 15% there. You want to keep his cooldowns. You want to build a little bit of cooldown because that's a big thing for him. He's a support character. You want to have those moves off cooldown as soon as you can. Now, secondly, I went with the Overflowing Gift. Now, I went with this mana regen because he has an ability that takes up a lot of mana, but it restores health. Now, and we'll get into that when we look at his moves, but this one gives you 0.3 mana regen and grants 10 health regen for 14 seconds to yourself and nearby allies. So again, kind of like having another health potion for your team and for yourself. And it also gives you that mana regen, which is good for this character. You want to keep his mana up there so that he can stay in the fights a little bit longer. Now, we got the Pendulum of Lords. This one is really just like the Lord's Ward. It has the same exact perks, I think. So I did Advanced Chrono, health, and 75 mana, 100 health, 2.5 cooldown. So this will give them another 15%, putting them at 30% cooldown reduction, which is good. And gives them a little bit of mana and gives them the health, and that's good as well. Because with the resistance plus the health, it makes them hard to take down, and usually not the first choice to attack in a fight. And if they do, you're going to have the ability to take a lot of hits, or at least relatively speaking. If your team is there, you'll have the survivability to sit and support your team, do some damage, and really stay in the fight. So we won't go over these two, but we might come back to them at the end here. So let's look at the Thorn Greenweed, because this is something that's usually going to be in the deck or in your build. So this gives you 22 energy armor, 6.5 physical damage, and 13 physical damage once you fully upgrade it. I gave this a beta barrier, and a strike, because we do want them to have a little bit of attack so that you are somewhat of a threat. If you do get into a situation where you have to fight someone, you wanna make it so that you can actually hurt them a little bit. So that's why I picked this card, to give them some resistance and a little bit of attack. Next we have Honor of the Pure, and if you don't have this card, you can replace it with a couple of things here. I would say we'll go over something you can replace it with. I think it's a Circuit of Health or something like that, but I picked this one because it gives you 100 health, 75 mana, and active. Shields yourself and nearby allies for 5 seconds, absorbing up to 50 plus 10 times player's level in damage. And that has a 2-minute cooldown. But this is good. It's basically like Mario's shield. So you shield yourself and your allies, allowing you to stay in the fight a little bit longer. Plus with the healing regen that you'll be giving your teammates too, it might, you know, change the tide of a fight, especially the really close fights. And it just might save a life, you know, somebody's trying to retreat. This might give them that extra time to get away. So I put this in the deck with a mana and 2 health. Now the last card I put in here, and this one is optional. I might take this one out, I'm not sure yet. But it's Mad Spore Sash. So that gives them 1.4 health regen, 22 physical armor, and it deals 15 plus players level and energy damage per second to nearby enemies. So it doesn't work while sprinting. And I put 2 guards and a minor guard, so I gave them that physical defense as well. Like I said, I might change this card. It does okay, but it's definitely been nerfed since back when everybody's using a Rampage. I think you used to do a little more damage then, but it's still a pretty good card. If you don't have this, I would say a Spike Bone Plate might also work. So now that's the build proper. Now let's look at the 2 optional cards if you're not going to build Mad Spore or Thornweave, and that's the Quartz Blade, which gives you 6.5 physical, 0.3 mana regen and health. Then fully upgraded, you get an extra 100 health. I gave that a major strike and 2 strikes, so this will give you a little more health, that mana regen, and it'll have you hitting fairly hard. And then the Silver Spears, almost the same as that last one. So major strike, and a mana. You can also go with another strike if you want. I just went mana for that extra bit of mana, but strike would probably work as well. So this one, 6.5 physical, 1.4 health, and 75 mana, then another 75 mana. So that's how I'm building Narbash right now. This deck did pretty good as a support, and he was also able to get in there and really do some damage, so it was pretty good. Alright, so as we get into his moveset, as we look here, he has Wallop, his melee basic attack dealing 42 physical damage, so that hits fairly hard. 42, that's not bad. Then we have his Thunk. I really like this move. So he throws a drumstick that deals 80 physical damage and stuns the enemy for 0.9 seconds, so for almost a full second. And this one's really good. It's kind of like Kalari's dagger, or the phase little move where she throws that energy bolt. You know, it's like a skill shot kind of. So this one's really good though. It does a fair amount of damage and can really, you know, change a fight, knock somebody out of their ultimate. So really good move. March, this grants yourself and your allies max movement speed for 3 seconds. Now I really like this move because it allows you to close the gap to chase somebody down. You know, if your team needs to get away, it also allows you to retreat. So I really like that move. Good move there. Song of My People, it took me a minute to get used to this. It gives you +6 health regen. So, but it uses mana every second. So at the start, it uses 12 mana every 2 seconds. Now this move is pretty good, especially if you're trying to keep, it allowed me to stay in the fights a lot longer than I would have been able to without it. Along with my other cards that give health regen, combined with this right here, I was regenerating around like 30 health per second or something like that, which is pretty good, you know. And then if you pop a health potion, it went up to like 45 health per second. So I was able to stay in the fight a long time. You have like a Rampage or a Decker who's running that circuit of health, that gives you an extra 4.2. And your Rampage, it'll just give him, he already has a lot of health regen, so with him, it'll give him just even more. So I really like this. And the last one, his Crash Bang Boom. Now, this one is his ultimate. He basically beats on his drums, and it reduces the enemy's movement speed by 200. And it deals 405 physical damage over 3 seconds, and then it knocks him up at the end. So this is really good. I was combining this with Gideon's a lot, and between the two of us, we were just destroying people. So I really like this. How I was prioritizing, I prioritized his Thunk. And like I say, I'm new with this character, so it may not be the move to prioritize, but that's what I was doing. The Thunk. Then I would go with the Song of My People, and then the March. And whenever this is up, I would go ahead and prioritize this over all of my moves. So like I say, Thunk, because that stun was really, it was putting in a lot of work. I like that. And with your cooldown 30% down, You got it up pretty quickly, so you could really take somebody out of the fight for a second, or keep them from escaping. You know, if you combine it with your march. So yeah, people, that's my Narbash build. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for listening. If this helped you at all, make sure to drop a like, share it if you think it might help somebody else. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. This is Orseofkorse. We'll see you in the next one. Orseofkorse out.